and understand where I'm coming from. I just simply want to address the issue of Verydark, because yesterday that I heard that Verydarkman was being arrested, I came on live and I noticed it while I was on Instagram when his friend came out and he talked about Verydarkman being arrested again. That was on the 30th of June. So I made a video also to talk about Verydarkman, not because of anything, but because of the way people started commenting. And I was surprised. It baffled me that Nigerians can have this kind of mentality to talk about this individual. Are there certain people who will support Verydarkman, who love him, who are his hardened fans, who would support him regardless? Probably. At least if I don't know of anybody, I will know of Seun Kuti. Seun Kuti will stand by him. Daddy Freeze, that one is about money. I don't like talking about Daddy Freeze because Daddy Freeze has become something else. He wanted to stand for something, but unfortunately he changed. And I don't know if it's educational factor or if I would say he has become so corrupt on his own, basically because of money. And money change people. But after I made that live video and I went off live, take time. I saw VDM. He made another video. And VDM said he's back from police custody. And he spoke about his experience with the police and the rest of it. And then he make a statement. Verydarkman say he wants to change Nigeria. That was where I laugh and I say, this bobo never know wetin they fight. Oh. Verydarkman, you are a Nigerian and you say you want to change Nigeria. You can care about this country, you can't change this country. And I'm going to tell you the reason. First of all, before I proceed, there were certain words that Verydarkman said. He said that the issue of him talking about certain people who probably extort somebody else and he was standing and fighting for those people, that was probably the reason why he was being arrested and brought to station. According to what Verydarkman said, that the problem and the reason why he was being apprehended, that was 30th of June, was because he was speaking for certain kind of people. And then he made a statement saying that he would stop fraud. And the moment he said he wants to find a way, because he has found himself in this situation and is now an activist and the world is now recognizing him for being an activist, then he thinks he can put it upon himself to change Nigeria. That is like someone being delusional. Nigeria is not a country that you can change as an individual. The only way Nigeria can change is a collective effort. I don't care who you are. And I'm going to sound a little bit offensive. Even if Jesus come and rule Nigeria, Nigeria would not change 1%. All these ones that we are clapping for Peter Obi and we are saying that the only reason why things are not getting better is because we choose Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Either Bola Ahmed Tinubu, either Peter Obi, whoever we choose as people, Nigeria cannot be good because the problem is not the leader. The problem is the people. The people becomes a leader. The people elect a leader. But we have to even look at it beyond that part. If one person has a good intention, just like President Goodluck Jonathan, who came on seat and had a good intention, what do? The remaining political people bastardize everything he stood for. What did we do? Did we as Nigerians give him the maximum support that he needs to make it work? America no dey work because of anything. America work because people unite together. Yeah, I'm talking about Good Morning Dance Moms edits. I'm talking about this guy called Verydarkman. I just wanted to make a live video before I make a decision to go out. Yeah, I'm talking about Verydarkman. I don't know. I think most of my audience, some of them are mostly in diaspora. Who stop the leaders when they get there? You see, we don't understand as people the vision of a leader. And you have to ask ourselves a question. We as people, and I'm speaking about what Mr. Donumbari Itos is saying. I think the problem is the people. For example, we can look at the life of Jesus, for example. Now, Jesus came from his practiced Judaism. Who are the people who actually crucified Jesus? The people who crucified Jesus, who actually killed him, are his own people, the people he stood for. The same person who, if we talk about African, when we look at someone like Baba Fela was actually warning us at that particular time before he died. He was talking about Obasanjo, the corruption, and Yaradua, and the rest of it. After Fela died, who did we elect? We still elect the same Obasanjo Fela has been talking about every single time. So if we make poor choices and we expect a good leader to change everything, but we keep on making bad choice as people because we refuse to inform ourselves. And here's what I'm going to say. Nigeria rejoice at the falling of their hero just to humanize him. Nigeria falls, love to bring down their heroes whenever their hero fall just to humanize the person. What did we do as Nigerians when Seun Kuti was being arrested the other time? Thank you. What did we do as Nigerians when Seun Kuti was being apprehended? Yes, this guy has been speaking the truth. Yes, this guy has been saying a lot of things against political power. But at a junction in his life, he became, I wouldn't say unconscious or whatever. He acted poorly by slapping the police. But I think it is a heat of the moment because when someone is being attacked at that particular time, and your life is already on the line, and you came out of a car, you most likely might misbehave. And then he misbehaved, he did something that was against the law. And the moment they hold him, rather than people to come together and say, okay, let's bring him out and let's talk to him. And let's say, okay, Seun Kuti, what you did is wrong, what you did is wrong. But you are our brother. People were rejoicing, let him go there like his father, like Fela did. And the same thing is happening with this individual guy that they call Verydarkman. I'm not used to talking about him. And I had the same experience within the estate I reside in. I've spoken about this story over and over again. I was fighting when we bought property in the estate. This company refused to let the landlords be. In my own situation, the people we got property from, they refused to let the landlords be. So they want to take charge of electricity. They want to take charge of everything. The author person, okay. They wanted to take charge of everything. And I stood against it and I'm like, you can't take charge of everything. And when I started talking about it, I did not understand what you're saying about the author person legit or something like that. If you can help me break it down a little bit, I will appreciate that. I was fighting for people that I had to go to jail. I had forced, okay. I was being lied upon. And right now, the electricity I was fighting for people, now everyone are enjoying the electricity. I'm not saying that as an individual, you're not going to go through certain things. But you have to understand that one person cannot make the whole change until the people begin to reason and see what I was talking about. That place remained the same until everyone came together and said, this guy has been saying the truth, and they agreed with me. Until they agreed with me, there was no change. Rather, this month right now, the electricity bill is out. Electricity bill I was fighting for now is 6,000 naira, and people have been paying 22,000 naira for months. For this is what they are already coming up with. People were paying 22,000. I reduced it, and I made sure that people started paying for what they use, and people are paying 6,000 naira. But this real estate organization kept lying to people. Now, the question is, if people had not seen into the vision of what I was talking about, I would go to jail. No matter what happens, they would remain in that particular spot. And the same thing is now applicable to what Verydarkman is doing. He's trying to change people who are not willing to accept the change. Please, if you're joining me, if you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe to my channel this morning. I'm still going to be having a live video, but I just want to make this short one on Verydarkman. Verydarkman has put himself in, he's an activist. Yes, he is. I agree with Verydarkman. He's an activist, and I think he's doing a lot of good. But I think at some point, you need to understand that you can force a horse to the stream, you can force it to drink water. You cannot save all Nigerians. And the best way to save Nigerians is you have to, first of all, save yourself. It is surprising and so appalling that the same individual who was fighting for a lot of people, yesterday that the news came up that VDM has been arrested, everybody look at social media. They said this guy belonged to that place. He's supposed to be in jail. They should not free him, and the rest of it is an animal. He's supposed to be in zoo. Oh, blood of God. Same Nigerian youth like this particular guy. A lot of Nigerians do not have the confidence to come up to speak up their mind. They run into their shell. They live in fear. The problem of Nigeria, one of the biggest challenge we have as people, is fear. Because we are talking about tribalism. Oh, tribalism is learning work. Fear is our biggest problem in this country. Investment in Nigeria is like fetching water into a basket. Consistency is in government policy. Oh, if we go into that one, I recognize you, Mr. Sun Odu. Yeah, you're one of the people that make me laugh mostly on my comment section. When we are talking about Nigeria investment, real estate, oh, that's a different subject. It's a subject that's, you know, when you tell a lot of people in diaspora the reality of what's actually going on, a lot of them would ignore you. But I want to just round up with this stuff with Verydarkman, and I think by 10 a.m. today, I'll be coming back for the real estate stuff. So my encouragement and my advice would have been to Verydarkman for him to be reasonable and to think about his future also, because the people he's trying to save are not willing to be saved. I have gotten to understand this, that as a person, you need to make a decision. Even if you think that the obligation you have is actually to save people, you need to understand that they most times might not need that saving at that particular time. And sometimes the best thing you can do is, rather than you exposing or bringing more quarrels to yourself or more fight, best thing you can do sometimes is just to educate people and let them make decisions for themselves. Because the moment they are being educated, then they can make the decision, and they are going to be very conscious and aware that the decision they make is the consequence of what they begin to see in their life. Either it's good or bad. So that's my take on VDM. I just made it live this morning. I'll be on live soon on the aspect of Nigeria real estate. And I'll tell this individual guy, all these Yabo, Joe, Polo, and all these celebrities is trying to bring up, and he thinks he can overcome all of them. It's just dramatic for me when I look at it. Most of it is just dramatic. You see, sometimes some of us, we actually get motivated because of anger. Anger is part of the things that motivate us. But you have to understand that as a human, you can build your motivation not just through anger. You can learn other skills in using to motivate yourself. So you wouldn't say that, oh, because these people are getting you offended, you always see it as something that's make you relevant. You can do a lot better if you want to. But I think at the end of the day, Verydarkman needs to be informed and educated as a person so he can have a better life. Because Nigeria, like I said earlier, love to see heroes fall. Nigeria love to see their heroes fall. And I don't know what's the mentality behind it. Once they hear you fall, someone who is rich became very poor, it's kind of spikes something. It's like there's a dopamine in Africans when we hear that somebody who is in the high place fall down. It is because of, I don't know what's going on right now. People are now talking about MQ Abiola. It is when we lose the great people, that is when we start shouting medicine after death. We love participating in that. Mr. Sumodu, I am trying my best. You cannot shame the shameless. Ha! Your words sometimes are very powerful. You cannot shame the shameless. And that's true. Maybe Verydarkman is shameless too when you look at him. Just bringing your words to the topic. Maybe Verydarkman is shameless. And I have similar attributes with him. I have similar attributes. But at the end of the day, one needs to look at what you want to prioritize in your life. And you need to understand that it is what you know that actually exists. And you have to give yourself the opportunity to grow instead of trouble after trouble. And besides, when people are not appreciating you, there should be a limit to what you would be sacrificing for them. I'm not saying you don't sacrifice. I'm saying you become more strategic in the way you put your things out. And that's what I would use to end up with the story of a Verydarkman. I appreciate everyone who has joined me today. I will try my best to make sure that by 10 a.m. this morning, we have certain special subject I would be discussing. So if you have a chance to join me, I would appreciate it. Thank you very much. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe, like, and share. Have a blessed day. Adios, amigos. Mr. Sunodo and the rest. Thank you for joining me at this particular moment. Bye for now.